Fellas, the internet is a terrifying wasteland. There's misinformation, lies, slander, libel, so many sources, you just can't get any facts straight. You don't know what to believe. And without any objective truth, chaos reigns. Which is why it is more important than ever to have critical thinking skills. It is important to be able to read information on the internet and know whether it is truth or a falsehood. Welcome to Fact or Opinion. Our goal tonight is to step into the realm of video games. Why did I say that? The realm of video games. The wide industry that's growing, that's booming all over the world at a rate that is, frankly, unsustainable. Everybody's playing video games right now, and in the future, we're all going to be playing even more. But that just leaves more and more opinions or facts that we're going to have to sort through. So tonight's going to be an exercise in seeing how you can do trying to sort out the real from the fake. And if you're real, you're going to subscribe to the channel right now. Most of you are subscribed. I looked at my numbers. It's actually 75-25, which presents a different problem for me because I'm not reaching new people. So 3 out of 4 of you are good people. 1 of you needs a little bit of correction. That's okay. I'm going to turn around, just sub to the channel right now. I'm going to turn around. I'm not going to look, okay? I just want the sub button to be gray. 1 second. Okay. Oh, you did it. Thank you. Okay, whoever you are that subbed, I really appreciate it. So we're going to do this. Oh, we started on the best one. Oh, yes. We started on a good one. All right, this will be fun. Our friend Blue Cosmonaut wants to know. He says, games don't have to be fun to be good. Now, is this a fact? Or do you think it's an opinion? 50-50. This one is contentious. People are going to say that this is an opinion. This is Blue Cosmonaut's opinion, which means it is not true. Now, I know a lot of you feel very strongly about this, but actually, it's a fact. Yeah, it's true. And you know what? I think the problem is, here's the problem. This isn't bait. This is the problem. How do you look at video games? Do you look at them like an artistic medium? Or do you look at them like a toy? You want your toy to be fun, right? You want a fun xylophone. You want to be able to hit the button and the thing makes a noise and whee, it's really fun. But adults among us would like a little bit more sophistication. Now, it doesn't mean that a game should not be fun. It means that fun could be a tool for the game like anything else, like atmosphere, like art style, like music. You gotta understand this. So, for a game not to be fun, it has to use that thoughtfully, strategically. It's not really fun to bang your head against a Dark Souls boss for an hour and a half, right? It's not really fun to keep doing that, but you do it because the payoff at the end is incredibly fun. Shadow of the Colossus, to a lot of people, is very boring, or it's frustrating because the controls, but the idea is that there's this insurmountable thing. You have to have these unwieldy controls because you're riding this giant. There's a lot of different pieces to this. I think if you wield fun like it's something that you can sort of strategically work into your game, you can elevate it because you're withholding fun sometimes. Or you want to make a statement that some things aren't fun. You ever think of that? Maybe you want to make a game that isn't about fun. Maybe it's trying to have a social message. I don't know. I wouldn't play it, but maybe somebody would. You know, there's been a lot of those lately. Anyway, fun is not necessary for a good game as long as you wield the tool carefully. Thank you, Blue Cosmonaut, for your fact. Every fighting game would benefit from Battle Pass-style content rollouts. You keep the casual audience engaged with breadcrumb trinket unlocks, would populate the lower levels because of that, which brings more people to the mid-level, and top players can ignore it entirely. I want to know what you guys think the alternative is. Because I saw a few people type, you know, they submitted something like this about Battle Passes, and I'm like, what is the other thing they're going to do? Wait, now that I'm reading it again, every fighting game... You know what? This one's a little tough. Here's why. I was going to say fact. I was going to say this is true, but upon further reflection, I think this only works for, like, the big fighting games. You can't say every game should do it. Like, obviously, DBFZ is good, Street Fighter, whatever. But I think a lot of fighting games just die out, or they can't sustain that level of interest. One of the things that I'm thinking about right now is, you know that what's the Dark Pictures anthology? We played Man of Medan, and then we played Little Hope. That's an episodic series that comes out with new episodes. I'm fucking done. I played 2 of them, and the second one pissed me off. I don't want to play them anymore. If I am playing a fighting game, and they put out, and I'm, like, having okay fun with it, and they put out a new character, if the first or second one is bad, I'd be like, this sucks. I think it only works if you have a strong enough IP to release characters that are going to be interesting enough to that casual audience, which I think is what you were trying to say. I mean, like, DBFZ obviously has so much, just fan service characters. I don't know why they picked Super Baby. I don't know what's going on. But they have so many characters that they could put in Smash, obviously. I think we're in a world where a lot of these IPs can fall back on their existing catalog. But if it's a new game, can you really do that? I don't know. I can see this either way. But I'm going to say an opinion because you said all fighting games. And that's not true. Speaking in generalities makes you an idiot. Ooh, so this is actually somewhat of a two-parter. You'll see the other one later. Cozy stuff. We are in a time where if an indie game's music is anything less than stellar, it can severely hurt the audience's awareness of that game. The biggest example is Undertale. Many people learned about the game through hearing the music for it first. True or false? Fact or opinion? What do you think? It's been about a minute. About 6'4". About 6'4". But the problem is, this is actually fake. This is fake. Now, good music will elevate a game and get it an insane level of awareness. But I think that's less to do with the game itself, and it has more to do with the influencers and the content creators and all those people, because you hear that stuff, and then how many times did we hear Undertale music in totally unrelated, like, commentary videos on YouTube and stuff, you know? I think the use of the music is almost unrelated to the game. And yes, it can bring awareness of the game, which is what this is sort of arguing, and that's important. But I don't think that it's the only thing. And I don't think it has to be stellar either. I think one of the reasons that Undertale is not only, like, I think the music was popular, sure, but I think it's also a very good game. So you're not putting it in just because it's good music. You're putting it in because it's good music from a good game. So people hear that and they're flooded with good nostalgia, make brain feel good, and then you watch the movie on YouTube and you're like, oh, this is good. Oh, here's the second part. Here's the second part to that. Nacho. A good soundtrack can single-handedly save an abysmal video game regardless of how bad the story or character design is. Even if you hate the game but the soundtrack slaps, you will remember it. Is music that important? A good soundtrack can single-handedly save an abysmal video game. Regardless of how bad the story or character design is this true? Of course it's not. I played Sayonara Wild Hearts. Good music. Good music. It was basically like a concept album. The game blew. It was a bad game. It wasn't fun. It was Temple Run. They sold me a fucking endless runner. This is the talk of someone who has listened to many 16-bit, 8-bit OSTs and likes them. You know, they like them. I get it. I understand. But those things sort of galvanize in your mind, and they create this this nostalgia, this image of the game that's better than it was. There are plenty of really shitty games with good soundtracks. All right, listen. So I'm playing this song, right? This song objectively bangs. This is from Pictionary for the NES. Would you like to play Pictionary? No, of course the fuck not. You don't want to play Pictionary. It's 2021, but you could listen to this song all day. Oh, deep rap on this one. This one made me think. This one should make you think. Really take your time on this one. This one's important. Like, this one's meant to challenge you. Remakes, from graphical overhauls like Crash to complete recreations like Resident Evil 2, are holding games back as a medium by reinforcing the idea that they're just products that can be constantly improved rather than works of arts informed by the realities of the time they were made in. You never see huge fans of cinema asking that old black and white movies be remade to take advantage of the huge leaps that have been made in filmmaking, both as a craft and from a technological standpoint. It's been 30 seconds, about 7-3 in factor opinion. I've got to be honest with you guys. This one's both. This one's both, and it depends on what perspective you're coming at it. If you guys remember how earlier we talked about games as art versus games as a toy, games as a product, this is a very similar thing. Are games art, and are they representative of the time that they were created and reflect the realities and the restrictions of that time? You just had to kind of make do. Or are they products, and they're things that can constantly be upgraded with the newest technology and sort of reimagined to a new audience? I think we've been sold a future where we have this idea that games are constantly like on an upswing, right? And because of that, being able to bring old games back into a modern environment makes them better, which isn't always the case. I know a lot of people played the Crash series and they were like, this was never fun. Why do people like this? This sucks. Andrew's wrong about old movies being remade. Some people do clamor for that, but I think the difference is the movies that are getting remade, if it's a classic because of the content within it, the themes and the elements within the movie that are sort of central to the movie, it's not going to be remade because it doesn't need to be. So something, I don't know, Citizen Kane, Godfather. I think thematically, you have movies that do the same thing that older movies do, but they iterate on the realities of what they're trying to talk about now. Think of something like Taxi Driver, right? Taxi Driver comes out in the 70s. It has to do with isolation, the feeling that nobody sees you. You're a nobody in a big city. Nothing matters, so you resort to violence. What movie came out recently that dealt with all those same things? It's Joker, right? So Joker comes out. Joker is not a remake of Taxi Driver, but it has a lot of the same bits and pieces and elements, and it has a lot of the same things. Games, you can't really do that for. At least I don't think so. Because games, thematically, are pretty shallow. Everybody is praising The Last of Us 2 for being so deep. It's literally just a fucking revenge story. Video games are pretty shallow thematically, but they introduce that other element of gameplay. And gameplay is supposed to be the thing that is king, right? It's paramount to the experience. And that's the thing that you update. You don't update the themes, you don't update the messaging, you don't update any of that, you just update the gameplay itself. The thing is, it depends on whether you think games are an art form and therefore sort of informed by the world that they came up in, or are they? This really made me think. I was thinking about this a lot. The problem is that most games just aren't deep. Most games thematically don't have anything that they're trying to say, and they're not that interesting. Some games do, and usually they're like auteur games. Things that are smaller, things that are made by like 1 or 3 people, but not AAA. So that was a good one. I like this one. I don't know whether it's fact or opinion, depends on your perspective, but Andrew, you win the gold star for the night. Congratulations. 1 out of 10 games are often more enjoyable than 2 out of 10 games. Yeah, we're cutting this one off early. You guys know what it is. You guys know what it is. Yeah, that's a fact. The 1 out of 10 games rule. One of the things that is cool about video games is even the really shitty ones have some idea. But the problem is, I don't really know what the difference between a 1 out of 10 and a 2 out of 10 game is. I think the worse a game is, the more fun it is. Always. Always. That's always true. Which is why games don't have to be fun. There we go. It comes full circle. Lou Linguini Margolo. Generally... Oh, I was happy about this one. Yeah. Generally, medium/big streamers can't enjoy atmospheric video games like BioShock as much as the average gamer because they're distracted by chat and having to entertain them. Exception to the rules if you flat out hide chat, but I feel like only big streamers can do this. What do you think? Holy shit. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna cut this one off. I was happy to get this one because it let me talk about it a little bit. This is very true. I have a very hard time focusing when I'm playing a game, especially if it takes a lot of focus and I have to, like, navigate, but I'm thinking about 2 different things. Like Metroid Prime. Yeah, I'm playing Metroid Prime right now, and I feel like I can't get immersed. I can't get, like, into the game as much as I'd like to. And that really sucks for games where atmosphere is the main draw. Especially because, like, it's not even like I can marvel at Metroid Prime with modern graphics because it came out in 2001. I can talk about how good it looks because it does look good, but it's still good for a 2001 game. Just play the game off stream like a normal person? You can't. You can't. You can't. You have to monetize every minute of your life. You don't understand what the content life is like. It's torture. It's hell. I'm losing money all the time. Please, I need to monetize my fun. It's the only way I can eat. I have a fucking daughter, you know? It's important. There are two sides to this. The upside is that streaming a game will make it entirely more enjoyable. There are so many games I would have never played if I didn't stream it. I don't know if I ever would have gotten back into Dark Souls without Albob and the rest of the crew telling me to do it. I loved that game, and now I love that series, and Bloodborne is one of my favorite games ever. Rhythm Heaven, I probably never would have gotten into, and now I listen to fucking Manzai Birds every single day. Life is Strange would have been awful, but we had a very good time with it. There's a lot of good that streaming can do for you. Yes, you lose atmospheric games. There have been games that I've played off-stream because I know that they won't do well on Twitch and games that are more atmospheric, like Observation. I started playing that on stream, and I was like, this isn't really working. It's not a great stream game, but I really liked it. But this is true. This is true. So if you ever see one of your favorite streamers playing a game that takes a lot of atmosphere, be sure to thank them, because they're not getting the full experience, but they're doing it for you. Hondo, having bad opinions is actually good. Having bad opinions is good. Is it based to be cringe? Seems like a lot of people say this is an opinion. So here's the thing. This is a fact. Having bad opinions is actually good. The problem is that this is a good opinion. And it's a good opinion that having bad opinions is good. Which means that you have a good opinion, it's not bad, which means it's not good, which means this fucking sucks. It's an opinion, and it was never true. Thank you for your submission. Big Papa. All Paper Mario games are good, even though the combat sucks in the new ones because of the stunning visuals and great writing. A lot of people feel a certain way on this. A lot of people feel a certain way on this. They do. They do. Looks like most people say it's an opinion, but I got some bad news because it's true. Now, the word all is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, which I don't necessarily agree with. Sticker Star sucked. But, this is an intervention. Paper Mario fans, I'm talking directly in your ear right now. This is buddy to buddy. I'm holding you on the shoulder. Paper Mario fans, it's time to let go. You will never get another 1,000-year door. Even if you did, you wouldn't like it as much. You're an adult. It's time to get a job and face the real world. You will never have individual toads. You will never have fun companions. Paper Mario is a fun series for kids. And it's always going to be that way. I believe in you, champ. I know it can hurt. I know it can hurt. Sticker Star doesn't count. Sticker Star actually doesn't count. Just to be clear. The Sticker Star doesn't... I haven't played that game. I hear it sucks. Sticker Star... The word all is a little heavy there. Okay. But Color Splash was very good, and Origami King was very good. They were both very good. You know what I think it is? I think the Paper Mario series... has shifted in a direction that people don't... That the people who bought into Paper Mario early aren't into now. I don't think that they're bad games, they're just different. But I also know how mad I was when Banjo-Kazooie turned into a Lego racer. So... I kind of get it. But I actually like the new Paper Mario games. They get kind of boring near the end because they're way too long. But they're very cute. They have amazing visuals. The music is excellent. The presentation is great. And the combat isn't usually fun. I mean, Origami King had pretty fun combat. But they're at least interesting. And I love that they try different things. That's all. You're just looking for content. No, I can't talk about Sticker Star. That's all. Also, 1,000-Year Door is not as good as you remember. I played it, I mean, it was a long time ago now. Maybe like 5 or 6 years, but... Ugh. God, not as fun as you guys think.
Thoughts on Super Paper Mario?
Too fucking wordy. Shut the hell up. Fun game, but talks too much. Yams, good friend of the channel. Good JRPGs are easier to make than good WRPGs. Not better, just easier to make. because good JRPGs are about capturing the aesthetic and story of an RPG, but WRPGs exhaust themselves over trying to capture the mechanical experience of an RPG, which almost always falls short. What do you think? What's a WRPG? Western RPG. Do you guys not know that? Western RPG is something like Fallout, like a Bethesda game. Elder Scrolls, Outer Worlds, stuff like that. EM says good JRPG, blah, 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 blah. You get it. Yeah, this is true. This is true. Yeah, it's easier to do a JRPG than a Western RPG because JRPGs tend to be a lot more linear. They have an established story they want to tell. They want to sort of guide you through the narrative that they're trying to tell. Meanwhile, on the other side, Western RPGs have way too many open ends, and they all coalesce into the same fucking thing. How many times have you heard a game has, like, hundreds of endings, and you're like, okay, buddy, all right. Stupid. That happens all the time. It's not true. Maybe you get different slides on the endgame slideshow. That's the best that'll happen. No, JRPGs are about more... They're a lot more structured, and they're easier to make because there's less consideration. And I think you can find that sort of represented with a lot of Western RPGs, even really heralded ones like New Vegas. Everybody loves New Vegas, but I know I talk about this a lot. The Legion is dog shit. The Legion is so abhorrently stupid in that game. It's stupid. Everybody says it's so deep and it's so interesting, but like, why would I pick these actual just... Why would I pick that? There's no reason for me to pick that thing. And it's a great game, but trying to get all the narrative pieces right and get everything wrapped up, you can't. You can't make everything equally appealing, you know? And people have said that, you know, they didn't have enough time to make it because they were on crunch, it took forever, whatever. But it's if you like picking the evil side. Yeah, but like, no human... You can't have something where you just pick the evil side and also say that the game is so deep. You know what I mean? People don't just be evil in everyday life. They think they're right. Everybody's the hero of their own story. It's like, well, I guess in BioShock it's not quite the same because you do get more points, but that's the one everybody brings up is like, why would I kill these little girls? They give me a little bit more power, but I guess the idea is that you're a little bit stronger in a strange land, so you might feel a little bit more, you know, like you have to do it, but regardless, yeah, this is I don't know how you can argue this. WRPGs have so many different things to take into account and account for, and like so many different dialogue trees, and they really try to make the role part more important. But JRPGs aren't really worried about that. They're a lot more sort of, you know, central. So, and that's gonna do it. I hope that this deep dive into the world of internet facts and opinions has been helpful for you. Remember to stay vigilant out there. Remember to think critically about everything you read online, everything you watch. Except this, you can believe everything that I say all the time. I wouldn't lie to you. I wouldn't mislead you. Subscribe to the channel, or I might have to start lying. I don't want to start lying, but if people don't subscribe, I need to make money somehow, so maybe I'll have to lie. So if you subscribe, I can stay as truthful as ever. Subscribe to the channel right now. There you go. And cut. Perfect. We lied to the YouTube audience. They believe it. Got them all. Don't put this in the movie.